Right, Mike, not the result you wanted to finish on, but you just played your last home game for Cleeve. How do you feel?
Well, as you say, quite disappointed with the result. In a game we potentially should have won quite comfortably when we were 3-1 up. I mean, they did have a few half chances and we had some chances as well to score more, but I think the goal they scored before half time made a big difference. And then second half, we didn't really start second half. We didn't play the football we played first half. So yeah, disappointing with the result. Obviously, as you say, for my last game at home, would have liked to have finished here with a win. But unfortunately, that's football and it didn't happen. But we move on. I've still got another game on Saturday, so hopefully we can get a result at Didcot on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good, talented young team, isn't it? But just
Yeah.
you can see that.
Yeah, as you say, there's a lot of good young players there. And we at times when we're on top and everyone's confident and we're passing the football, and you can see there's some quality there. We just need to learn a little bit to toughen up a little bit, especially when you're playing against men as it was. We've got a lot of young lads, but you're coming up against men who've played at this sort of level for 10, 15 years maybe, so experienced people. Just need to toughen up in certain areas defensively, because I'm sure going forward we'll always score goals with the quality we've got there.
Yeah, you've taken the decision to retire because of work commitments, to change in working hours, and but how difficult was it to make that decision?
Probably the hardest decision I've ever made, to be honest, and it's not something I've taken lightly or just made a quick decision. It's something I've thought about for a few weeks. Spoke to a lot of people, and yeah, really hard decision. I've played football probably quite seriously from the age of sort of 10, 11, I suppose, and I'm going to find it quite difficult not playing on a Saturday or going to a game on a Saturday with some involvement, because I've done it for so many years. But as I say, sorry, it was a very hard decision, but unfortunately my work hours are changing slightly on the Saturday, which means away games would probably be quite hard, well, extremely hard to get to anyway. Home games I could have potentially got here, but I'm thinking after doing 8 hours work I'm going to be very tired, and it's going to be very difficult for me to be rushing around at work to get to play a game.
Yep.
So tough decision, and one that I've made now, and hopefully I can just go on and enjoy a few other things in life, and hopefully still have some input in football somewhere along the lines.
Yeah, your last game at home was Thatcham, but your first time ever on the bench for Cheltenham Town was against Thatcham away, wasn't it, in '97?
We were just speaking about that then. It's been a long road really. As you say, that was my first involvement with the first team at Cheltenham, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time at Cheltenham. I had 6 years there, and there were some good times there, some good memories. But same as with all the clubs I've played for, and I've been here at Cleeve for probably six seasons now. This is probably the 7th season, so this is probably my longest stay anywhere apart from Cheltenham, and I've had some great memories here, and made some good friends here as well. So all good memories, all good things to look back on. Yeah,
let's just have a little talk about your career, because from Cheltenham and came through YTS at Cheltenham.
I started straight from school they had a YTS scheme going there, and they were only in the what was the Dr. Martin's Premier then, so it was only one league above what we're in now at Cleeve, and then it was they just spiralled from them really, and they had a good amount of success, and it moved up and up, which probably made it a bit more difficult for me to get into the team, because obviously they're having so much success, and I was always there or thereabouts around the squad, and spent a lot of time on the bench, and I did come on in a few games and started a few games. It was that was a good times there.
What stands out from your Cheltenham career? You played against Norwich, didn't you?
Played against Norwich. Obviously my full league debut at Kidderminster. I'll always remember that. I thought I played fairly well that day. In a local derby, so there was a big crowd there, and I think the score was 1-1. I think Banksy scored a goal towards the end to make it 1-1. So that's a big memory. Obviously the trips to Wembley, I was involved there. Missed out on the bench. It was out of me or Russ, because there was only 3 subs in those days, and I played the last probably 7 or 8 games of the conference season. With obviously there was a few suspended and injured, and Steve Cottrell he went with Russ, and obviously it paid off because he whipped the ball in for the free kick that they scored from. So, but yeah, you got the Wembley. Obviously went to the Millennium, and just all round, I thoroughly enjoyed it there. And it was a sad day to leave Cheltenham really, because it was all I knew from the age of sort of 15 to 22, I think it was. So yeah.
Michael Duff was in the same YTS scheme as you, wasn't he?
He's obviously gone on leaps and bounds, and I think I was speaking to you about it the other day when he's now been at Burnley 10 years now, which is, as you say, he's gone from playing at that level, he's gone through every league and even played in the Premier League. So but I still keep in touch with Duffo, not as much as I probably should do. So I'll probably try and with a bit more free time now if I'm not obviously playing on a Saturday. If he's playing anywhere local, I might try and get to a game to catch him, and obviously spend a bit more time seeing people like that.
Yeah, then it was Swansea.
Yeah, went down to Swansea. I always say this to people, played for Swansea, but it wasn't like the Swansea was now. It was they were sort of struggling in League Two, and the season I was there, the season they nearly went out of the league. They stayed in last game of the season, so it wasn't like the big stadium and the passing football. It was a tough time down there for the club, and unfortunately I was probably only there for sort of 6 months. Nick Cusack, who signed me, got the sack, and Brian Flynn came in and obviously had his own ideas with regards to players, and thought he needed extra different players in, so he did actually release quite a few of us. So yeah, I was only there sort of 6 months. I didn't see out the back end of the season, but again, thoroughly enjoyed my time there. That was a new experience. As I say, been at Cheltenham for straight from school, and it was sort of my hometown. Obviously Swansea had to move down there, and it was just a whole new thing for me really. So probably didn't adjust as much as I'd like to, but I think I played a couple of games. I got on off the bench a couple of times for them, so at least I can say I played a game for them.
Yeah, look at them there, but they actually just had a mass trial because they didn't actually have any players.
Yeah, that was
start
it.
That season.
It was I went down with. It's funny you should mention Duffo. Duffo took me down there. It was the 2 days after the Millennium final against Rushden Diamonds. So where all the other lads were out having a drink and having a good time, I was sort of trying to prepare for that because I wanted to do well there. So and Duffo came down with me, and it was 2 teams of trialists, and 22 lads basically put into 2 teams. Off you go and have a 90-minute match, and I actually played really well. And they rang me next day and said, we want to sign you. So that was pleasing. That was obviously a happy time for me. But
yeah, was it Weston you went to after that? Or?
Yeah, I came back. Obviously, I was only, as I said, I was only at Swansea for sort of 6 months. So I think after Christmas I was back in Cheltenham, and I actually went to Cirencester for a couple of games with Brian Hughes because I knew him, and there was a couple of lads, Gareth Hopkins and I think Mark Richards were playing over there. So I went there for probably a month or so, I'd say. But then Weston came in for me, and they were paying a bit more money. I wasn't really working at the time, so it was more of a financial decision to go there. And they offered me a bit of coaching and bits and bobs. So I was there for probably, was it Weston, 2-3 seasons? I can't think off the top of my head. But again, enjoyed my time there. I think we had a promotion in my time there. Played with some good players. A lad called Stuart Slater was playing there. He was a top player, and that was good. But then after that, I came back, signed back for Siren again, where I stayed for 4 years. Was captain for a year or 2, I think, and had a couple of good seasons there. So. And
then on to Cleeve.
On to Cleeve. I think at Siren there was no real reason for me leaving. It was just I thought I'd just fancied a fresh challenge really, and I think Keith Knight was here at Cleeve at the time, and he sort of contacted me, said would I be interested, and then it just went from there. Then I just came along and met up with Paul Collicott, who was the manager at the time, and we what he said sounded good, so I came, and the rest is history really. I've been here ever since, and we've had a good few seasons, but obviously the last season we struggled a little bit, but we hung in there and eventually stayed out of relegation anyway. So just hoping the boys now can kick on and get a few results to put them at the table a little bit.
Yeah, being from around here and going to Cleeve School, and it's amazing that Cleeve actually got into this level of football, really, isn't it? It's a good achievement for them to be playing against some of these bigger teams.
Yeah,
in this
well,
division.
there are. I mean, in non-league now, as you're probably well aware, there are a lot of big clubs now. I mean, even at our level, there's a lot of clubs that have a bit more financial backing possibly than Cleeve, and as I say, bigger clubs, bigger crowds. That's the thing here. I mean, if Cleeve could get a couple of hundred people through the door every Saturday, then it would make a hell of a difference, and it is a big area. So I think that's something that if that did ever happen, and they could, get a few more bodies through the gate. And I know they do try hard to, and Dave and Anif and all the people behind the scenes do work hard for it. But unfortunately, you've got obviously Cheltenham on the doorstep, so if they are playing, a lot of people might go and watch them. But yeah, they're doing well, as I say. But it's just when you come up against teams with a bit of a bigger backing, it becomes a little bit difficult. But hopefully they can, as I say, they've got some good young players, so hopefully they can continue doing all right this season.
Yeah, one game left that did cut, and John Bruff says you can have a bit of a send off on drink after the game.
Yeah, well there was always I think there's a race night planned here anyway to obviously raise a few funds for the club and stuff. That was always planned anyway. So we'll go to Didcot and then pop back here after, and then probably into town for a little bit. Although I've got an early morning Sunday, so I don't want too many drinks. But yeah, we'll have it'll be a sad time. It'll be sad for me to stop playing really. But as I say, I've made the decision now, and when Saturday comes, I'm sure I'll be a bit sad, but we'll get on with it.
Yeah. Have you got any idea how many games you played? If you throughout your career, have you got any idea?
Not really. I was thinking that the other day. I don't know. I mean, as I say, I couldn't tell you. I'd like to know, to be honest.
You've never had any serious injuries, have you?
No,
really? So
no. I've been quite lucky with that. Touch wood. I've had a couple of little niggles, but nothing that's kept me up for sort of more than a month really. So yeah, I've been pretty consistent with being involved, and as I say, over the years, I probably would like to find that out, how many games I've played, but I don't know off the top of my head. It must be quite a few, because obviously 3 or 4 years at Weston, 3 or 4 at Siren, obviously 6 here. So yeah, I'll look into that and see how many it was.
Yeah. Right. Cheers, Mike.
Cheers, John.
All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.